Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cardinal Conversations. This podcast is going to introduce you to influencers and innovators in the field of physical medicine rehabilitation. I'm Dr. Darryl Kaelin, professor and endowed chair at the University of Louisville. And with me tonight is one of those very special influencers in my life. This is Dr. David Cifu. David is the chairman at the Virginia Commonwealth University, an endowed chair there. And I'll start off by saying this. As far as people who've influenced my career, this is the guy who introduced me to brain injury rehabilitation, which has become my career. He first showed me the importance of research and teaching, which has become my life love and lesson besides my wife. And he has also introduced me to organizational medicine. And I was fortunate enough to get involved in the Academy of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation, where we are tonight, and followed in his footsteps as a president of this organization. So, David, welcome.
It doesn't get any more than that, man. We got to have you here. Thanks, Darryl. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate it. Well, right back at you, by the way.
Well, you've influenced me so much, but let me ask you, who are the people in your life who influenced you in the field of physical medicine and rehabilitation?
Yeah, I will keep it short because nobody wants to listen that much to it, but there's probably three main folks. One of them will go nameless because it was an individual who was in my medical school class who got a spinal cord injury during my first year of medical school. And obviously devastating injury. But I got to experience PM&R, physical medicine rehabilitation, firsthand through someone that I knew as a athletic medical student, life of the party, who suddenly was a tetraplegic. And I got to just see rehab. I'm like, this is unbelievable. This is medicine. They care about people and their lifestyles and their families, and it was just really, really wild. So that was the first individual. The second one was an amazing spinal cord physician named Susan Beener Bergman, who was at Boston University, who took care of my schoolmate. And similarly, she's like nice, talks to me. I was a first year medical student, nobody. I was like just hanging out. And she's like talking to me about this field, which I couldn't even spell PM&R, right? And she's just telling me it's the future and this, and I just loved, and she was so kind, right? And the best thing she told me was, don't train here, train at Baylor College of Medicine, because in the 1980s, it was the bomb, right? Yeah. And I said, well, Texas? I'm not going to go. I'm a New Yorker. Forget about it, right? But she says, you got to go. So she encouraged me to go. I applied, got in, fortunately, and I was blessed to have an amazing mentor named Susan J. Garrison.
Oh, she's awesome.
Who was just a mother to me and a mentor and a friend. And she taught me, she taught me the science of it, but she taught me that you want to build a life around it and make it part of who you are. And I just embraced that, loved it. And the funniest transition as we get to his next question is, Darryl actually met me when I was a first-year attending at the Houston VA as part of Baylor. And he was interviewing at Baylor to the residency. And I knew at that point that I was going to be leaving and going to Virginia Commonwealth University. And I may have whispered loudly, said, you don't want to go to Baylor.
So I say, so they go, where else have you interviewed? And I started naming off places, and I say, VCU, and he goes, that's where you want to go. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm in Texas and somebody's telling me to go to Virginia. And I go, why? And I turn around and it's him, and he goes, because I'm going there. And so I show up, and there he is. And
I think I lost my chance of becoming alumnus of the year. Although they eventually did give me an alumni award. I'm like, really? No, I'm kidding. But amazing place, Baylor College of Medicine, really built my future foundationally. Great people, Susan Garrison, Susan Beener Bergman, and my classmate who got injured. But I was fortunate to able to recruit Darryl through that, and the rest is history, because Darryl, the best, I'm not just saying this, the best resident we've ever had by far. All right, just fantastic. Biggest loss in my life was when he left us, but fortunately he went on to pretty greatness. So.
Well, you know what? I mean, the great thing about VCU is that place has been stable since you've been there. So many people have stayed for years and years. And that's what I hope to create at the University of Louisville as well. So thanks.
Yeah.
On the lighter side, here we are in November. Besides turkey, what's your favorite Thanksgiving side dish?
Well, Darryl knows this, but I'm a vegan. All right. So Thanksgiving is hell for vegans because nobody appreciates vegans. I don't like turkey. I don't like turkey tofu or tofu tofurkey. So really, for the most part, I'm a sweet potato kind of guy.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
I live for sweet potatoes. Unfortunately, marshmallows are not vegan either, so I can't have that cool marshmallow thing with the nuts and stuff. But we have some lovely vegetables. When you're a vegan, you start to believe and convince yourself that vegetables really taste good and they're all you need in life. Not really true, but we have wonderful side dishes. I'm a side dish kind of guy now. So.
Well, I will say, since becoming a vegan, he has become very svelte. Not that he wasn't always a good-looking man. I balance you out because I'm a definite meat and potatoes guy, I can tell you right now. So, well, listen, you and I both have a real love and appreciation for the military. You've been a chief at a VA for many years. You've led the VA rehab services throughout the country for many years. So tell me a little bit about how you got involved in that, and number two, what you've taken from that experience.
Yeah. So obviously during my residency, actually during medical school, I was exposed to the VA in Boston. And then during my residency in Houston, my first job in 1990 was at the Houston VA. And I did a range of things. It wasn't one specific thing. It was kind of a jack of all trades. And then when I went to Virginia in 91, I immediately started to spend time at the VA doing brain injury research and education. And at first I'm like, it's a VA. I've worked in VAs my whole life. I'm ready for the superstardom. And I want academics and I want big, beautiful, shiny things. And I'm like, you know what? I did that. And I'm like, I love the VA. I need to get back into that big time. And so I became an official VA employee again in 2002, and I've never looked back. And I think the biggest thing is veterans are vital to this nation. Freedom isn't free. They've paid with their lives and their bodies and stuff. They're just nice people.
Yeah,
I love veterans. And many people watching this may be veterans. I love you, but they're just nice people, down to earth folks who have true values that aren't based on dollars and the internet. They're actually just based on caring about your fellow man. I love that. And then as a physician in the VA system, it's an easy place to work. People are kind to you. They're thankful. It's really easy to get what your patient or your veteran needs. And when you take care of someone who's got stories that are Normandy Beach or Vietnam or Korea or now Iraq, Afghanistan, I'm like, no story I have comes close to that. I want to hear about it. I want to nurture it. I want to give back to that person. And I would say anybody watching this, if you want to make a huge difference in healthcare, help the VA in some way, whether it's a physician, a therapist, write a check to them, be a volunteer, wave a flag, do something, because it really is a backbone of the United States. 8.2, give or take, veterans are in the VA system. There's another 9 million veterans that aren't in the system. If you're a veteran watching this and you don't go to the VA for care, please come on into the VA.
Please do.
You're going to get people as awesome as me or as nice as me, whatever it is, and actually much better than me, but really, really nice people across the country. Last thing I'll say, Darryl, is what I've taken away from it is you get a whole lot more than you give. Like, I'm getting a check and I get a great job and I get to learn medicine. I do cool research. They give me great grant funding. Pales compared to all the stuff I've gotten. Just taking care of these folks are so nice. Like, they're not like the people you watch in movies or television. It's sad, those movies and television. Yes, there's horror and war and there's challenges, but when you're there, quote, in the medical front lines taking care of them, man, are you getting back? It makes you cry. That it's hug a vet should be like the thing. They're just cool folks that want to be treated like anybody else. I treat them as VAPs. I know we all do, but they are everybody else. So we should treat them that way. So I've really gotten much more out of it than they've given me, and they've given me a lot.
Right.
So I think that's saying something.
Well, I agree, and I echo all of your sentiments. I can tell you that probably I spent no more rewarding time than I did in our military program that we had when I was in Atlanta.
Yep.
Treating those men and women who, as you said, literally give up their life or risk their lives every day is so rewarding. And to see them get their lives back and to move back in either to the military or beyond is it's a fantastic thing.
Yeah,
it's
cool.
Again, little lighter side thing. Tell me what your favorite color is and why.
Well, there's a lot of reasons, right? No, it isn't black, but black just has a slimming effect on me. No, it's actually purple. It's always been purple.
Me too. Me too.
Right.
I knew I loved this guy.
50% because of Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Oh yes,
and literally that. So I was a 6-year medical student at Boston University. My essay to get into the 6-year medical program was about Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Right?
Oh,
and there's actually a movie on it. I just saw it on Netflix. I didn't watch it yet, but that's number one. The second reason, 50%, is purple is the color of Roman royalty.
Yes.
All right. And I'm Italian, sort of Roman, and I'm like, I'm a royal. No, that's not why. But it does kind of like, I like that color and stuff. I actually do like the, in Willy Wonka, the lady who turns into the blueberry.
The big blueberry.
Yeah, Violet Beauregard. I love Violet Beauregard. So purple's just the bomb.
Spitting's
really
a bad habit.
Yeah,
I know a worse one.
But yeah, but it really started from Harold and the Purple Crayon. Yeah, they just kind of dug that. And
that's great. Last question.
Yeah,
you talked a little bit about the health system in the VA. Where do you see the future of healthcare going? You know, more or less, we got a lot of changes with the new election.
Yeah.
But beyond that, do you see us moving in the right direction in rehabilitation and healthcare, or do you see challenges ahead?
Yeah, well, certainly there are challenges ahead. And as someone who, like yourself, are fortunate enough to be able to travel the world, teaching and learning all over the world, we see that U.S. is number 57 out of the developed nations in terms of the quality of healthcare, and that's embarrassing in terms of looking how much we spend for each person. We have cutting edge stuff and the best PM&R doctor in Louisville. All right, maybe the second best in Richmond. We got great people, but our systems need to be refined.
I agree.
I think the VA is leading the way. I do think ACA, quote Obamacare has helped somewhat, but we got to first just provide services for all in the rehabilitation space, because rehabilitation works. The ROI, return on investment in rehabilitation, is through the roof. Every dollar you put in used to be 11 back. Now it's like 14 or 15. It's insane. That's just countable dollars, but it's like quality of life, just the next level. And many people can't get rehabilitation services outside of the VA or outside of specific insurance. Fortunately, federal insurance does pay for it. So we need to focus on that. Last thing I'll say is what we need to do is do prehab.
Right.
The money, the biggest bang for the buck is preventing problems, preventing dementia, preventing back pain, preventing mental health issues, preventing X, Y, and Z.
Healthier America.
Right? Yeah, Healthy America works.
Yeah.
All right? I'm not a vegan because I like the taste of tofu. No human likes the taste of tofu. All right. By the way, if you've never had stinky tofu in Asia, you haven't lived. That's another story. But
don't want to know what that's made out of.
But prevention. 40% of dementias have preventable causes that we know of today. It's probably 80% by the time research is finished, end of the decade. 40% of people with dementia can be prevented. All right. And the same thing is true of mental health. Same thing is true of obesity, back pain. So we got to jump on that bandwagon. That's where I see physical medicine rehab having the biggest impact, advocating for people with disabilities, preventing the problems that we know will happen, all right? And then most importantly, bringing the healthcare world together, team spirit, interdisciplinary, all right? Really respecting, each other's skills and optimizing care. To me, that's the future.
David, here's to you.
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks for being the very first guest on Cardinal Conversations. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Take care.